Welcome to a new episode of our podcast, The Alt Journey, an unedited, honest peer dialogue to lead the future. I'm Arjan Visser, a human-centered futurist and your host. Join me as I chat today with my dear friend, Maher. I want to start with thanking all of you for your interaction with the previous broadcast about why leadership needs a new lens. You can find the link to last week's episode in the description below or just use your preferred podcast app. Today's podcast is a peer dialogue with Maher to go deeper into why leadership needs a new lens. Deb is a perspective illuminator, helping leaders to change the game by changing their own perspective. Let's dive in.
Thank you for having me, Arjan. It's always a pleasure.
It is, and let's find out how we have fun in our peer chat and go deeper into why leadership needs a new lens. So actually, my first question to you is, what was eliminated in the episode?
Oh my goodness. There were so many different things. Some of the ones that really stood out was a quote about inspiration. You said that inspiration is the healthy fuel that people need to be intrinsically motivated. And so that intrinsic motivation is one key. Also, the need for authenticity in our interactions as leaders. And the need for new metrics to measure success. So which one of those would you like to start with?
Let's start with intrinsic motivation.
Okay.
It's I believe that's at the core of reinventing our leadership. But before we reinvent, it's about reframing leadership, having a new lens on leadership. And inspiration is very powerful. Although in many cases it's not there. It's absent. And it's compensated by motivation, which I truly believe is the opposite, or at least it has the opposite result for the people involved. If you're motivated, you're pushed to fall back into coping mechanism, in pleasing others. With the fear of my next promotion. So motivation it actually has an ugly side effect. People will burn out. And I don't believe that's what our intent is as leaders, to create a healthy environment for people to give their best, to give their all, to flourish and make the business profit from it.
So that taps into something else that stood out for me. Because when we talk about motivation coming from the outside in, it doesn't work because it's external to the individual. So inside out is the new part of the new lens that you're talking about. And as leaders, needing to work on ourselves from the inside out. It stands to reason that inspiration of others has to tap into that same mechanism where we're encouraging other people to look inward first and then express authentically from that position. So it feels to me like part of what we have to come to grips with and learn how to measure is fostering that internal viewpoint that then merges with what is external to us. Management has been This is the way it is. Get with the program. And now have to do something different.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's quite radical. Like you say,
Yeah.
like the external motivation, it's not meaningful. Not meaningful for the person at the receiving end, which means that we have to let go our protection mechanism for our own drive.
Yeah.
And we need our own drive for things to be purposeful, meaningful.
Right.
And because it's our drive that is the engine below what we own. And if we lose ownership over something, it means there, it would nearly say we are losing ourselves. We cannot be authentic. We are not growing. We are grinding to just make it work.
Yeah.
And what we love to see is that people own it, which means the time, their energy, their investment is all worth it because they share the vision of what's the outcome. And with having that perspective of what the outcome is, they will continue to thrive even when they perceive it as hardship or even
Mm.
struggle or
Yeah.
resistance. But it's connected to the internal drive.
Right. So here's the problem that I see. There has, in my time in the business world, there has always been talk of and fostering of an ownership mentality. Be an owner, not a renter. Act like an owner, not a renter. In other words, owners have skin in the game. They're going to take care of things from a different perspective than someone who does not have skin in the game. But it's only been that, it's been talk. So that language is going to meet with resistance because it has been hollow. And so we have to look at what is the real substance. What's the shift? What's the difference in this new lens?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I believe it goes back to intrinsic motivation. If our intrinsic motivation is not leading us in what we put effort in, if it's our time, our energy, or our means, then it's not ownership. Then we can call
Right,
it whatever it was. But if our intrinsic motivation is left out or put aside,
right,
it's not ownership. It's pleasing people. It's a coping mechanism, and you will burn out.
exactly. So what the new leader, what does the new leader with a new lens have to change in order to foster intrinsic motivation?
Well, that leader needs to be, I would nearly say, self assured that although he doesn't know all the answers, he can still stand up and lead it. He doesn't need to control how things are done. He has to trust himself and his people that it will all be fine and it will extend expectation. But it starts with they were not going to do it my way. They're going to find out their own way. So when they find out their own way, it's meaningful, it's their how. Give them the room to explain how they want to approach it and don't judge it based on your reference framework, how you would have done it. Because if you know so well how to do it, then let's be honest, do it yourself.
With yourself, right?
So the whole management philosophy of delegating needs to be redefined. You cannot delegate how you want it to be done. You can delegate the work and find clarity in your language to inspire people what you expect. So they can over deliver because they own it. They are authentic because they give expression to who they are, and they have the freedom and the responsibility to learn, find out what works, what doesn't work. But it's all about trust. And if you really think you can outsource something in your way to do it, then look out for a robot,
Yeah,
not a
right.
human being.
So, for the sake of our listeners, I'm going to recap what you said, but I'm going to go in the reverse order. It starts with being able to clearly describe the intended outcome, to describe the vision of what everyone is shooting for. Then, without judgment, describe that people have room to do what's necessary the way they believe is best. So leaving the how to the individuals after that general big picture is given. So when they're given that freedom, then they can find their own best way, which fosters ownership.
Yes.
And as a leader in myself, I have to be self-confident, self-assured, and generally trust the process and trust the people. Trust that they will come up with good ideas. Trust that they will think of things that perhaps didn't even occur to me in order to accomplish the described goal or objective.
Yeah. Well, two things that stood out of that one. I believe the first one is people have to own the vision,
Yes.
which means that that big picture is not just in clear language communicated. They see it for themselves. Because if they don't see it, they literally don't know what's the
Right.
purpose of it, what's meaningful for me, what's in it for me is not something they have to put aside. It's what you as a leader have to help them to see that, because then the reward is not just putting your time and energy in it, but and receiving financial compensation, but then the reward is your growth, your flourishing as well,
Yes.
your learning. So that's the first thing that stands out for me. And I forgot the second one.
Well, what you just said, there's an extra layer of fulfillment and satisfaction and enjoyment and feeling of accomplishment when I have an ownership stake, when I have explored and executed to the best of my ability because I was free to do that. And then it worked. So then the recognition comes, the self satisfaction comes. So it adds a third layer. I get paid, I have fun, and I help my team all at the same time.
Yeah, and we tend to say that we don't want to be tolerated. We want to be celebrated. but we don't want people to burn out. And celebration is exactly what fuels burnout as well. So
Yeah,
people need to be,
especially when it isn't sincere.
it's not sincere. When it's authentic, it means that it is an expression of who they are and who they are becoming.
Yeah,
And people need to be seen and heard. So a leader needs to pay attention of recognizing people, their growth, because it's not what they have learned. They have grown in stature, in authority. And the
yeah,
worst thing that can happen when you have grown in authority, your team people recognize it and follow you in certain areas. So people start to learn who has the wisdom around a specific topic. And so you get this natural flow of navigating the challenge together.
yeah,
And then the leader needs to recognize that, at least verbally and in their behavior, because else the people start to doubt themselves and they
yeah,
fall back into, I need to have confirmation. Well,
yeah,
they didn't need confirmation because by owning it, the learning and the whole everything that's gained by owning it, you help them to not confirm them, but recognize their growth. So they don't fall back in the
yeah,
destructive behavior of, I need confirmation. I need to know if I did the right thing. Because what they experience if they don't receive that is not only their behavior, but they also experience that the team members withdraw from recognizing it because they start to doubt as well. So,
right.
and that was the first thing that actually not that stood out in your reverse reflection is trust. Trust is
Yes.
not a thing. Trust is something of our senses.
Mm,
It's between that our head knows facts and we feel, I would really say we smell, we discern that it
mhm,
is right.
yeah,
And that trust, we always tend to say we give our trusts and it can be lost. Well, I would say we don't give our trust. We discern that things are authentic and we would, what's a good word for it? I would nearly say we would bet on it that it's good to follow those people, good to follow our own intuition. So that means trust is not a metric, but it's something emotional, relational with ourselves and between people. And we really have to protect that because when that is gone,
mhm, yeah,
it's not given back easily because it's not a choice to give trust and to trust again. It's a discernment. And if the discernment is not there, we can fake it. And there we go again
yeah.
on the road to burnout.
So trust and inspiration are linked. Trust inspires. When I trust, it's inspiring to me
Yes.
to continue to move forward, to take risks, to take steps. So practical, tactical, what to do. I think what we're talking about, you said rewarding or recognizing who people are, who they are becoming. That means our praise, our calling out what went well. When it's focused on the person and their personal development steps versus, hey, you hit the goal, we hit the number.
Yeah.
That's the shift that I'm seeing here that takes a lot of conscious thought to move into because managing by the numbers, managing by that goal that, okay, the company's going to do X. And instead of focusing on who did what steps that enabled the accomplishment of the goal. I think that's at the heart of
Yes.
things.
Well, I think that's a good one because we in many businesses we have incentives. And what you describe, seeing people, hearing people, and not celebrating people, for some that will be a thin line. For others it will be black and white. And to make it black and white, incentives don't inspire people. They are the extrinsic motivation that puts people in actually an unhealthy growth path because it's really addictive to get to win the incentive.
Right.
You will do it by buckling up and getting more in the rat race.
Yeah. Maybe
And
not the right behaviors, but you got the prize.
exactly. And I think that's the most destructive one. You create a culture of win-lose
Right.
because people will use their elbows to get there. And maybe we think, yeah, but it's just an achievement. It's just an award. Well, I was once in the corporate world and I don't know. I was not in the incentive league, but I was one of the 10 going for a full week of racing, sailing in the Caribbean. For me, that was a total surprise because our department didn't join it. Till today, I still don't know how I got there. It was amazing. It was a number one thing of my dream list.
Wow.
Those people that I was on the boat for, most of them had earlier incentives. So this was a step up. So in my reflection, it was, this is my dream list. Now, this was just beyond what I could imagine. I love sailing, so this was just a crazy adventure, And but the other people, somewhere in their head, they were thinking like, well, I hope the next incentive goes to Antarctica and then to the moon and then to Mars. It, it became so addictive to winning. And we all know that if you want to win in sports, you need to have a killer instinct. Well, that's exactly what we mean. We don't want to nurture killer instinct when it's about a work environment
Yeah.
where we give our best, explore our best, spend so much time in becoming who we are called to be that we are tackled by other people that are not in the game like that and rather, well, metaphorically kill you
Yeah.
than win together. So incentives but it's so embedded in our systems, but
Mhm.
it's an external motivator.
Right. Which is the opposite of team fostering.
Yes.
And if I win, it's at your expense. So, as you said, it fosters that win-lose environment. So again, we're stuck with language that is overused, perhaps, create a win-win or a win-win-win culture. It's unless the behaviors shift, then it's just more of the same old that sounds good. But underneath are these systems that foster competition instead of cooperation. So coming back to the leader, how does a leader's current mindset need to shift to foster authentic win-win situations?
I think it's the mirror. You have to be able to really look into the mirror, create a mirror for yourself. Don't take your blind spot for granted. Get real peers around you without a stake in your success, and get real. And that's painful. That's honest. It's authentic. It's hard work. Can't think of any word that makes it comfortable.
Right.
Except that is really satisfying.
It's the painful, exciting journey of learning. It's the ongoing learning about self, others, and beyond.
Yeah. So a trigger is, how do you think of personal development, self leadership, growth? If you put that under the label of selfish, no time for too many operational things at hand, then
Yeah.
please manage your environment. If you recognize that it's the biggest gift you can give to your people, is to find out, reflect who you are, become authentically yourself, let go that you need to micromanage people, you don't need to define how, then you become the inspiration for your people to learn, to find the how, take themselves serious.
Yeah.
Like we have that weird saying, don't take yourself too serious. Yes, in one end, when it's about your opinion, your judgment, but at the other end, it's the best gift you can give to your people, to your team, to your peers, to your spouse, your partner, is the fullest version, most authentic version of you. Because then nothing is faked, everything is real, and it's grounded.
Yes. That right there is the beginning point. It's the healthy look inwards, the making sure it's knowing self and knowing what I am good at, knowing what gifts I bring to those around me, and taking an honest look and being willing to take feedback from people that I trust who are on a similar journey of self-evaluation. Be open to hearing difficult truths about me that I may not realize yet. To do the healthy questioning of my own motives. Why am I thinking that way? Why am I behaving that way? Why am I drawn to X? And not just doing it out of automatic pilot because it's what I've always done, but taking that step back to do the self-analysis, always believing that there will be an illumination of something that will help me take the next step forward. And that in doing so, I'll be a better person to the people around me, not just me. So it isn't selfish to work on self. It's actually, I think it's one of the hardest things to do. And it's one of the greatest gifts we can give to the people who are close to us.
It's not people we just trust because we feel safe. We trust them because we discern it's life-giving, so hang around with them.
Because they'll be straight with us.
Exactly. And they sense it because they go a similar direction for their own. So no weird entanglements and interdependencies and stakes. No, they have their own journey. But they They let you feel that they feel the same. Because the understanding on our journey of self-development is always delayed from our discoveries, from our revelations.
Yeah.
And we don't want to doubt. So we need people that encourage us. Oh, you sensed it well, you feel it well. Let's help each other to find language, to express it so that our mind can catch up. And we can recall this as a new baseline, a new memory, and not just keep it fake. Because it is a mystery, but we try not to make it too mysterious.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, again, my brain always goes to, okay, what can I do? What's a practical thing I can put into action to live out this new perspective? And I think one of the points that we've been making is that when we recognize someone's ability, not just the result that they get, but perhaps it's calling out the method they used to get there. Hey, I noticed you took this direction. That's new. What caused you to do that? Tell me more about that. That kind of recognition has buried within it the encouragement to become more of who that person is made to be.
Yeah, it's a good one. And like the how question is the last one in the line, so we should not
I like
enforce
to
it
go
to the
there
beginning.
first. I try to
Oh, we
withhold.
love to do it first. First thing that comes to mind. But how? No,
What do
with
I do?
who?
How do I change? What?
Yeah. Well, it's all about being, becoming, and what overflows from that, your effects on others. And so it's with who am I? Who am I becoming? With who? For who? Where to? What will it look like?
Yeah.
And then the how will be what are the patterns? What are the rhythms? Before we go into tell me the process. I copy your method.
Right, right. Yeah,
Yes.
because in this space, there is no copying methods. There's fostering individual contribution,
Absolutely.
unique, uh,
Yeah.
special design, because nobody thinks the same as anybody else. So,
So authenticity is quite a simple subject. It's not a wide area. It's just you being you. But so much out there is noise and distraction in it. And it demands us to become real with ourselves. And even if it's messy, hang on, learn,
mhm,
find out who you are becoming.
mm,
It's unpredictable because you currently don't know.
right.
Well, Deb, thank you for your time. I hope we have demystified the new lens we need for leadership.
I
I
hope
am
so
definitely
too.
sure. I'm definitely sure many people hear words that resonate with them,
Mm,
and that's, I think, one of the things that I've learned. It's not with what you understand, it's about what resonates with you. So thank you
mm.
for your honest answers, your reflection, your hard questions, and I'm looking forward to our next conversation in the podcast.
Yes, me too. It's always fun.
Take care, Deb.
You too, Arjan.
Thank you for tuning in with us. I believe it gave you something that resonates. I love to read your thoughts in the comments below. Next week, we'll dive deeper into the awakening. The topic will be From Comfort to the Call to Pioneer. If you can't wait and you're ready to explore the future with us now, you can join the Alt Forum. Just use the link alt.businessrevivalists.com. This is an exclusive peer dialogue for visionary leaders to step into the future together. And to make it really easy, you can experience it first and decide later. See you there.